jog my memory. Guys, Sanrio redesigns, a staple in the art community. We all have our favorites: Hello Kitty, My Melody, Kuromi, Kuropi, Cinema Roll, Gudetama, etc. But how many is etc.? As of right now, it's over 450 characters since their first in 1973. I've noticed almost all of the videos redesigning Sanrio characters have mostly the same characters popping up. And that's good. The more popular the character you redesign is, the more fans of that character will click on your video. But hey, I'm here for fun. No one else will redesign these characters. I'll be giving each and every Sanrio character an equal chance to get redesigned. That includes the popular ones. And what a better way to do that than a wheel. Bam! Yeah, it's an eyesore. This wheel has a total of 435 characters on it. I made it all by myself with the help of the Sanrio wiki, thank you. Fun fact, I made this wheel over a year ago because this video concept was actually my first attempt at making a long-form video. I ended up scrapping the video for a more common type of redesign. Either way, I'm back and ready to take this challenge on again, but I'm not looking through the Sanrio wiki again to update the wheel because I don't care. So, let's get spinning. So, if you're wondering how long this took to make, don't ask me, because I don't know. I made this a couple months ago, or like a lot of months ago. So the chances of getting like a recognizable character are very low, but I do remember getting Kuromi like once. Brownie. Oh my god! Oh my god, this... I don't even know what this is, but it's so cute. It's a hedgehog. This is... I think this is a show that Sanrio designed the characters for, so... If I have any Jewel Pet fans in the audience, hi. In the clip, I think I thought at first Brownie was a brownie-ette, but no, this little guy is a little guy, though I don't mind. I figured I'd take this opportunity to create the first male character design on this channel. Brownie isn't what I'd call a consumer character, where most of the appeal is buying merchandise related to the character, because other people are doing that too, and isn't the character, like, so cute? Brownie's design actually comes from a joint collaboration between Sanrio and Psycho Toys called Jewel Pets. I've vaguely figured out what this show is about, despite finding very little on it outside of its wiki page. So let me quote the first result about Jewel Pets from Google in my half-hearted notes attempting to explain the show after reading the wiki a little. Focusing on animals named after jewels, birthstones, and minerals, who can use magic using their eyes. And my notes. Basically, there's these two worlds coexisting together, Jewel Land and Boring Actual Land. It says they exist together in secrecy, so I think that means basic normal people from Boring Actual Land don't know about Jewel Land, and vice versa. The only way I can explain this is it seems like an amalgamation of Steven Universe and insert basic magical girl series. Only the magical girls are pets, and I'm not exactly sure if there are any magical people, and the reason why I said Steven Universe is it seems like all the pets have their own magical gem and makes them powerful. I didn't write this down, but yeah, that's the end of the notes. Jewel Pets is a franchise rather than just a show. It kind of reminds me of Littlest Pet Shop in a way, where there's a toy line that complements the show. And as the show gets rebooted and stuff, new toys come out. Even on the wiki, I can't really find any clips of the Jewel Pet shows because it's all over there. Brownie doesn't seem to be a main character, but his Wikipedia page does say he has a couple essential moments in the show, at least. There's a lot of little quirks and details to his character, and with my design, I more or less cherry-picked details I liked while going off a few visual references I found, rather than fully researching him, because I don't have the time to research a non-essential character from a Japanese franchise that launched 17 years ago. I'm gonna keep referring to my notes, so I figure I should explain them. I take notes before and while designing a character, and they're essentially for me to reference when I start actually writing the script, because generally the designing process and scripting process can happen several weeks to months apart, so taking notes lets me remind my future self of what to write in the script. Got it? Got it. I wrote in all caps before designing. I don't know anything about this character. How are you expecting me to design a character just based off is supportive of their friends? I seem to be having a trend of hating one character in particular in each of my videos. One of the things I really dislike about Brownie is his color palette. It just seems like 80% for easy distinction between other very colorful characters and 20% for actually good color composition. Brownie's mineral is brown quartz, hence the name, so I'll give pity to the character designers for this one because frankly, I wouldn't know how to make a colorful pastel brown crystal hedgehog thingy look good either. But even then, his character doesn't really scream brown quartz at all. I didn't head down the brown quartz route for this one though. I really wanted to improve the existing character itself rather than doing good on the concept of the character. I could design a brown quartz superhero that looked nothing like the original, or I could take Brownie's character down a different route and maintain his original features. This example kind of reminds me of the difference between other Sanrio redesigns I see. Some might literally make Kuromi a fashionable goth, designing her based off her concept, and some will try to keep the original features of Kuromi's design, regardless if they're fashionable or not. For my design, I softened the colors up and added some purples and greens just to give more variety. Clothing-wise, I tried to aim for a resemblance of latest 2000s because that's when Jewel Pets released. I find designing boys so interesting after designing girls for so long because, yeah, you'd think the main challenge is getting the masculine physique down. But for me, I feel like I just genuinely have less fun because masculine fashion is so boring to me. What do you mean I can't put this guy in a tutu? Huh? Tutus are feminine, so then he'd not be wearing masculine clothes, which ruins the entire point because I'm trying to design a character in specifically only masculine clothes. I also feel like I'm right on the tipping point of one of those art styles where all the men look like women and all the women look like women. You got what I mean? I gotta be careful, but not too careful because then I'm just drawing in a different style entirely. Looking at his design now, I don't really think it screams late 2000s. Looks more Victorian with the ruffles and tie, but I have Victorian thoughts, I can't help it. Finishing thoughts, my favorite detail in his design are the chunky bracelets, and my least favorite detail is his face. I could have done you so much better, my boy, I'm so sorry. Spin! Koro-chan? Oh. I don't... Oh, wow. This one's even older. Wow. We got some really old characters. Just a little side note, whatever it was called, Marin or something, you'll see that in the clip. I ended up scrapping that character because it's technically like 3 characters, and I didn't know how to make that into one character. So I just ended up re-rolling. But you'll see that re-roll if you just keep watching. Remember at the start of the video I said Sanrio has created over 450 characters since their first in 1973? Well, Koro-chan is that first. Crazy, right? 1 in 435 chance. Koro is also a boy, but I've already filled my boy quota for this video, so consider it a redesign and gender bend. Something for everyone. Compared to Brownie, the amount of backstory this character has comes in stark contrast. All I can really find is his defining feature is his birth year. He has croquettes on his cheeks, and there's a rumor he eats them when he's hungry. Okay. He's been very unpopular because his design is considered ugly. So ugly he isn't even included in the Sanrio character rankings anymore. I'm not very familiar with Sanrio character rankings, but I think not being on it would just be like death for a character, because I'm sure the rankings show Sanrio like what people would buy. The lack of backstory for Koro isn't maddening, it's just more of a blank slate than I thought I'd be getting. Either way, I theme Brownie around late 2000s-ish clothing, so naturally I won't miss my chance to theme Koro around 70s clothing. I ended up finding this reference on Pinterest, which I heavily relied on. My headcanon is my Koro is a businesswoman of sorts, helping people start up their companies and then dipping when she feels the company doesn't need her help anymore. To make the suit imitate Koro's design, I rounded out the collar of the suit to look like Koro's little patch of belly fur, and made the undershirt host a button that looks like Koro's nose. Their color palette has very vibrant, warm colors, so it was a fun challenge coloring this piece since I usually tend to color with pastel, cool colors. I tried scattering the aforementioned cheek croquettes on the knee pads and earrings for Koro. I've been thinking back and forth about whether to rename my version of Koro, because to my knowledge, Koro in Japanese is treated as a masculine name, but Koro is so foreign to me it feels gender neutral. I love it if you give me name suggestions in the comments though. Speaking of which, my most popular video right now is redesigning old personas. And coincidentally, I think that's the video I asked for suggestions for a ton of things in the comments, so I wonder if that's why it did so well. I find it odd that it's more common for people to ask for subscriptions rather than comments, because I think the more comments you get on your video, the more likely the algorithm will recommend it more. That makes it more likely for your video to gain traction, therefore asking for comments might inadvertently get you more subscribers than just asking for subscriptions in the first place. Also, off script, I think there's a certain point where YouTubers asking for subscriptions, it's like really annoying. They just hide subscribe with a question mark in their video, and I don't like it. Just ask me. Say it to my face, man. Since we've strayed off the path already, I figure this is a good time to bring another thing up. Do you know that editing style where there's just a bunch of memes and sound effects scattered throughout? I think it's very versatile nowadays, especially in long-form content, since 70% or more of your viewers have already scrolled through short-form content already. So adding short clips into your video keeps people locked in. But I cannot, for the life of me, edit in that style. I guess I need to admit this, but I don't know what's trendy, okay? I don't know what memes are surfacing around social media because I choose to have none for the sake of my attention span. I know, a YouTuber that doesn't have 17 different accounts for you to follow. Crazy, right? I don't even watch YouTube Shorts. Every time I do, I feel like it ends up like this. Why am I watching the same clip of Phineas and Ferb play over again and just in different languages? Never would I normally watch this video if I had to click on it. I like deep dives! I want to watch someone talk about the same thing for 20 minutes to an hour straight, and I have favorite channels because on Shorts it feels impossible to be watching a video because you like the creator that made it. Anyways, something I've been adding to my art a lot more are these default texture sheets Clip Studio Paint provides. iOS Paint has them too. I've never used Procreate though, so you're alone on that front. Once I'm done coloring something, I add a static overlay by setting it to overlay mode and then adjusting the transparency as needed. This isn't all I do though. With Koro, I added another texture sheet and morphed to work as the texture of her suit. Then I apply a little bit of chromatic aberration and usually I'm done. I was watching Emma Artley's video on her process, and there's this one effect she does where she duplicates the canvas and blurs it, sets its luminosity, then lowers the opacity. I've done this to my art when drawing in iOS Paint, but for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to do it in Clip Studio Paint. There isn't a luminosity layer mode, and all the other effects I can apply, I can't imitate the luminosity mode either. If you happen to know how to recreate this effect on Clip Studio Paint, let me know pretty please, because I really like how it looks. I just don't want to have to import all my art from my computer to my tablet to my computer again every time I finish a drawing. Editing, EQ note, I figured it out! Freaking hell yeah! Now, I'm not sure if it's exactly the same, but it's pretty close. How I do it is merge your final art piece onto one layer, duplicate the layer, go to filter, blur, then Gaussian blur, apply as needed, go to layer effects, then select brightness and lower the layer's opacity as needed. You're welcome. Here's the final design for Koroette. My favorite detail is her earrings for sure. Least favorite thing is, well, I think actually my favorite detail is the pencil in her hair. I felt so smart when I did that. So least favorite thing is, well, I actually like this. Whee! Let's see. Doki Doki Yummy Chums. Wow. I don't want to do. Oh my, she's from Hawaii. This is so cute. Marin the most likely character I'd buy merchandise of, trophy in my heart, out of the 3 characters in this video. If this character has lore, I didn't bother to research it, I'm just writing a book based on its cover. The only detail I really focused on was her general appearance, and the fact that she's canonically from Hawaii. The original Marin is really cute, it's just something about that blank expression. Because Marin is from Hawaii, I tried to avoid Party City Hawaiian costume-looking references, just to avoid any generalized clothing or stereotypes. But if Marin's clothing or design seems inaccurate, let me know and I'll post her fixed design in my community tab. Since Japan and Hawaii are in general proximity to each other, I figured my Marin might visit Japan a lot or be Japanese and Hawaiian, because I used this reference image of this specific aesthetic I think was either made or popularized in Japan. I don't know what it's called. When designing Marin, specifically her shoes, I went through the process of believing I just invented Mary Jane Crocs, searching if Mary Jane Crocs exist, and being disappointed when they did. But still, my take of Mary Jane Crocs are much cuter than the real counterpart, so... Crocs, I'm expecting an email. I'm curious if it's weird to wear Crocs with socks. I mean, it rhymes, so I don't see why it'd be a bad time. I don't think I've ever owned a pair of Crocs myself, not because I think they're ugly or anything. It's just that my default choice of footwear is sneakers. My persona wears them too. Like, do Crocs wearers get blisters when they wear Crocs without socks? Maybe Crocs should make socks with Croc-style holes in them. Anyways, getting back on track. I think Marin is the first character I've ever designed where there's a significant amount of transparency in one of her clothing items. I just think the look of her sleeves is so unique. I remember when I was little, I had a princess dress that had transparent-ish sleeves like hers, but I hated the dress so much because that part was just so itchy. On her bag, I included a little keychain of her animal counterpart. Is it too on the nose? I don't know. I feel like her design could do without the knee-high socks. Looking back, they seem kinda out of place. I'm not sure why I did this because I was purposely trying to make her outfit look like she could wear it in warm weather. Unrelated factoid of the day, what is the largest desert on Earth? I'm sure you thought of the Sahara Desert, but it actually depends on what you consider a dessert. The largest fruitcake ever made weighed almost 10,000 pounds. Huh. You thought I was talking about the other type of dessert, didn't you? You better start fearing homophones. But seriously, if you thought the Sahara Desert, you're still wrong. It's technically Antarctica. Anyways, here's how Marin came out. I really don't have any backstory for her at all, so if you happen to have any ideas, feel free to comment them. My favorite detail on her is... Ooh, wait, zoom in. Wait, zoom in. Wait, zoom in. Wait, zoom in... The pins! The pins actually have real images on them. Also, I love the Mary Jane Crocs. Well, that's all the designs for today. I really liked how they all came out, actually, but I think Koro is my favorite. Let me know your favorites, too. I'm really curious. Also, to address the metaphorical digital elephant in the metaphorical digital room, yes, I don't tend to post every 2 weeks or months like other content creators that do the content that I do. My upload schedule tends to be random, so the best I can promise you with confidence is a video every couple of months. Also, do you like my new background? Yes, I know it's still under color instruction, but I was really excited to use it. It took such a long time to make and I'm not even done. Anyway, the next video is already in the works, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know. And that will be all for today. Goodbye.